Hi, I'm Prashant Thakur. I head the research vertical at Anarock Property Consultant, and today I'm going to take you through the recent development in terms of regulatory as well as other structural changes that have some way impacted heavily the real estate industry as a whole. Of late, we have been reading a lot and going through a lot of changes in terms of RERA, GST, Benami, and demonetization. And undoubtedly we can say that real estate is going through one of its toughest phase. But again, having said that, it is also one of the most transformational journey that this industry is going through, which was long required. Now let us understand how these developments are going to impact each segment of the industry, as well as how the various stakeholders are going to be impacted. So if we look at how historically the real estate industry has functioned and how it was perceived, it was considered to be one of the most non-transparent industry. There were a lot of dubious dealing happening, but still India has always had a inherent demand for housing, and this industry grew. And we reached at a point where the consumer confidence was a bit shaky because of construction delays happening, projects not being delivered on time, then price shooting over the roof. And to rein these practices, RERA was introduced. So RERA basically addresses the core issue of non-transparency and is aimed to bring back the confidence of the buyer into the market. So RERA puts a lot of restriction on the developer in terms of the way he conducts his business, the way he has to manage his fund, and also puts a heavy restriction on meeting the deadlines and commitment to the home buyers. And also RERA provides a platform to the end user to address their grievance. Earlier they didn't have any formal platform to raise their concern, and they were left in lurch. So this is one part which RERA has brought in, where there has been some kind of financial as well as execution discipline forced upon the developers, as well as the buyers have been empowered. The second part is, let's say, GST. GST basically brings in the financial discipline, the way you maintain your books of accounts, the way you deal with your vendors as well as other stakeholders. So GST, though it has brought some kind of temporary confusion in the entire system, but it also is going to benefit the developer as well as other financial institution involved in the funding of this entire real estate ecosystem. Number one, the books of accounts will be more clean, it will be more transparent, and there will be a lot of confidence that a financial institution would have when they are funding a developer. Whereas the buyers now, they are kind of a bit confused whether they have to pay higher GST compared to the erstwhile VAT and service tax. If we take into account the input tax credit that they will get, in nutshell, the impact of the GST will be negligible for them. So this is one part. Now the third part is GST, apart from GST, Benami and demonetization happened. So this was basically introduced to curb the black money and people who are parking their illegal money in the real estate space, which was in a way also leading to a lot of price rise, because a lot of unaccounted money used to enter the market, and then the price was kind of shooting above the roof. So RERA, GST, Benami and demonetization have hit the core problem of the real estate industry, and in long term the buyers are now getting confidence that there is a regulatory body which will take care of all these issues, and the promises that the developer has made will be met. On the other hand, now developers have also realized that to gain back the market share, they need to basically they need to win the confidence of the buyers, and RERA compliance to RERA is a way in which they can win back the confidence of the buyer, and eventually this will lead to them returning back to the market and increase in the sales. If we talk about how the entire industry has changed because of this, now developers are also kind of focusing more on execution rather than just pumping in new launches in the market, and vis-a-vis the buyers are also now preferring more to buy ready to move in stock to avoid, number one, GST, and second one is they don't want to get into any execution delays. So that's where you will see that a lot of unsold inventory that had piled up historically is now slowly getting cleared off. because now developers are more focusing on selling off their existing stock rather than pushing new supplies. And because of black money not entering the market, we have seen a lot of price rationalization happening, which is good for the entire ecosystem as well. And earlier, if you talk about the entire real estate community, the developer segment, it's quite fragmented. There are a couple of players who are quite transparent, they follow all the rules and regulation, but there are certain players who are unorganized and they were not very transparent, and their dealing brought the bad name in the industry. So in a way, we'll see a lot of consolidation happening, and we'll see a lot of corporation happening because of RERA imposing a lot of restriction on it. So in long run, again, we'll see a lot of customer oriented developer coming in the market and the market being cleaned up. So in my opinion, this structural change is a pain in short run, but overall the long term benefit is going to be immense for this industry.